Hello there, this is Dr. Barbara Young, and I'm excited. Welcome to Woman Talk. And boy, I have my girl back. I have my partner back, Jewel.
I'm back.
Jewel Diamond Taylor, where have you been? We missed you last week. Where have you been?
Girl, let me tell you, I have had bad experiences in the past with dentists, and I needed some dental work, and I'm feeling so much better. I tell my audiences all the time, be reminded of the double E's. Take care of your feet, your knees, your teeth, and how you see.
Well, look, when you talk about going to the dentist, you know, who enjoys and says, oh, I'm excited, I'm going to the dentist. Girl, I tell you, it is something. It is something. Good morning, Maria. We're glad you're here with us today. Thank you. So, ladies, I want you to get in the chat really, really quickly. We have my friend today, Loral Langemeier, who's on the show today. And we have my co-host, Alexandra Jiselle. Hello, Alexandra Jiselle. And Laurel is getting herself situated.
I am. I'm in a hotel room in Georgia.
We are so happy that you are here. Hotel room.
I'm trying to get here. Sorry. I'll turn the light on. Get a little more light. There we go. Now I can kind of get organized.
Well, we are happy to see you today. And you're our special guest. Laurel, I can't thank you enough for last minute me asking you to do this. But
yep.
You know, you're my
there we go.
You got it? You're my
do I look okay? Am I all good? I got my Georgia Southern shirt on. My son's playing football at ESPN. I'm telling the whole world it's Proud Mama Day.
All right, Proud Mama. Now, are you on your cell phone?
I am on my cell phone.
If you put it on landscape, you'll be bigger.
Well, look at that. Let's try that.
The other way.
You think I'm upside down? Well, I don't know how to do that. Now I'm upside down.
It didn't go landscape. Okay.
I don't know how. Well, I'm not that technically, savvy. I know a lot about money, but not about the technology stuff that gets there.
Well, I want to tell my ladies about you. This is my co-host, Dr. Jewel Diamond Taylor, and my other co-host, Miss Alexandra Jiselle.
Hello.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Hello.
Well, I want to tell all my viewers out there that Laurel is the money expert, and she's a sought-after speaker. She's an entrepreneurial thought leader. And let me tell you, I'm so excited to have her. She's a 5-time New York bestseller author.
Yeah. Soon to be 6.
6.
Soon to be 6. Yeah. We're doing a book for kids on how to make kids millionaires.
Well, you're on today because I've been telling everybody we're all excited about you. Because you're on a mission to help people to talk about money and empower them. So I'm really excited. I want to say good morning to our guest. Hi, Maria. We're glad you're here. Hi, Sandy Gill. Thank you. Sandy is back in Detroit. Robert Kelly. Do we have Robert Kelly out there? We're okay. Ladies, we can let men in every now and then. Okay. And Jennifer, we're happy to have you on the show today too, Jennifer Gerald. Thank you guys for coming in. And Laurel, you're on. Because one of the things I've been really, really high about you, I call her my kick butt money expert.
I do know how to kick butt. I'm known for that.
Yes, she does. So, Laurel, you're on about this whole issue right now during pandemic, and people are saying, I don't know what to do about money. I'm broke, or I'm low. I don't know. I don't have a job. What do I need to do?
You got to make money. So there's, I have actually put a link together for folks. It's asklaurel.com women talk, and it's going to give you a whole bunch of free stuff. So one thing, and I've been at the front line since, March when COVID hit, just helping people with money. And the biggest number one thing is you got to get as much cash as you can, so you're really nimble as things keep coming. I mean, who knew that you would be in this many months? And most entrepreneurs, I mean, they barely know how to live month to month. much less March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Hell, we're heading into the 8th month of probably the biggest stress that entrepreneurs have ever seen. Anybody that stands and lives through this will have probably lived through the biggest economic, impact that they've ever seen in their entrepreneurial life. Like this makes 2008, 9, and 10 look like a kindergarten game. This is intense. The best entrepreneurs are surviving. I'm helping a lot of entrepreneurs learn how to make new money, which is absolutely critical. So, Barbara, I'm going to invite I do that marketplace where everyone learns to make money. We just did one last Thursday, Friday. I mean, literally each student who really participates, you're going to make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Last month, we had a superstar. A woman made $19,000 in just a few days. So it's really what I'm known for. I know how to help you like really make some fast money. And then with that money, one of the biggest things you got to do is you got to preserve it. So we can introduce you to places to, I'd say keep your cash, keep it safe. And because you never know where you're going to need more capital. You never know if any of the subsidy loans are going to stop. The worst thing to do, and I know it's counter to everyone's opinion, is you cannot pay off debt. This is not a time to pay off debt. It's fine to carry it as low as you can. I have some debt consolidation, not like Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey style, but some wealthy folks know how to the cash and not pay down your debt. Like you don't want to make money and pay down debt. That's not what you want. You really want to make money and invest it. There are so many other businesses in your town that need your capital. They need to stay alive. Like they're still up at the lake, like, this fun little coffee shop that I love, and I'm still negotiating with him to open back up. The problem is that I've dug into his financials. It wasn't very profitable to begin with, but he's going to need 20% to reopen and then stay open. So we're negotiating, and the way that we're going to get creative is that you can't just be a morning coffee shop. Like at night, you need to be the tapas, wine, or bourbon. Like you got to be a specialty fun place at night. You got to make more money. You got the facility, you got to monetize. So I'm being really creative with hairstylists, chiropractors, restaurants, like this little coffee shop I love. Subway across the board is having a hell of a time. Some of the other franchises are having a tough time. Auto dealerships, like there's nowhere in this economy you can look and say anyone's like totally thriving. They need help and they need to make money and then spend it and preserve it, invest it properly. So Barbara, there's a lot that I can help people with, and been here daily helping people, taking phone calls. Ask Loral is my, site. So just ask me any question, ask for a resource. The one thing that's critical, and it's today and tomorrow, is if you've had a company in the past, like an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, any sort of a company, a legitimized illegal company, you can go apply for that SBA, that EID loan. Sorry, it's an SBA loan essentially. And I've helped, I don't know how many businesses get between $70,000 to $150,000, and that's free money. It's 0% interest, and a lot of people see that as, oh my gosh, it's that. No, it's not. This is capital to hopefully preserve the company in some of these tough times where sales get tough. So we can help at every angle, but those loans are going away tomorrow. So it's really important. If you go to askloral.com, we have somebody who's just specializing. All she's doing all day long is helping people get these loans so they can stay afloat. The worst thing that could happen is all these great entrepreneurs go under because they don't know how to survive.
One of the things, Loral, has come up. One of my people on the line, Jennifer Gerald, has a question, would love to have a lower interest rate. Now, I'm not sure what it means by having a lower interest rate. She needs to sort of explain, would love to have a lower interest rate.
Yep. So the first easy and obvious thing, which a lot of people don't do, is just call your card company or call your bank and ask for it. Some of the most simple, pieces of advice are the obvious. Is what I call the common sense part. So I would call and ask for it. Now, if you blew your credit, you're probably not going to get it. But we have somebody again on our expert team, because when you work with Integrated Wealth and me, I have a whole team of experts, and They can either help you repair your credit so you can get lower. Like most people with good credit can get it down to 0%. There's so much 0% money available right now. But you have to ask and you have to know how to have the conversation. So the first obvious, if you have okay credit, like anything like 620 or above, is just call your card company and say, I've been a standing card holder for years and blah, blah, blah. And then I need, and they're going to tell you no, and then elevate. So, well, I need to talk to a manager because I'm running a company and this is serious. I have got to I'm doing everything to make the money. The last thing I need to do is pay high interest on the money that, you're going to keep with me. So, speak like a business owner would be my advice on the talk track. Like in our marketplace, and we're going to do a 2-for-1, Barbara, for all your group today. I had my team put together a cool link. If my team, I know Steve's out there, if you want to put it in the chat. So 2-for-1 means that 2 of you can go for one price. The marketplace is only $97. So for less than $50, next Thursday and Friday, November 5th and 6th is our next one. We do them every couple of weeks now. We have so much interest in it, and it's just critical that you learn to make money. And then as you learn to make money, when you talk to your card company, you're going to talk like a business professional. You're going to say, I'm the CEO of a company and I am on track to make however much you plan. I'm going to say at least $100,000 this year. And you need to have more capital. You need more access to money, which can be on a credit card. So you want more money and less interest. That's what you really ask for. And some people hear me say that and say, Laurel, that's so aggressive. People are doing it all day long. They're not asking properly. But literally, you got to speak to the new income you're going to make, right? So I'm on track to make more money. But to do that, I'm going to have more capital, which means I need an increased line of $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, and I want to pay less interest. And if they'll say no, the first line person will say no. Say, good, then get me your manager, please. And just be like a firm, strong businesswoman person.
Laurel,
I think a lot of people are just scared to do that. So that's a little bit of a script on what we're going to help you learn how to do next week. So again, next Thursday and Friday, we're going to do a marketplace. Can't wait for all your folks to make money, like make a lot of money. And Barbara, darling, you could be making so many more thousands on sponsorships for the show. I mean, your show has been up here for so long. You have so much credibility. I got all sorts of money ideas for you, young lady.
Yes, ma'am. You got it.
I'm listening.
Now, if a person, I have a question, that they've only been in business for 2 years, they don't qualify for most SBA loans because of the revenue is brought in. It's not that great. What should they do?
Go to my Ask Laurel site, so asklaurel.com, and ask for our help. So I would have one of our experts look through it. So one of the things that you can shift on the loan, again, is your revenue model, your business model. So you may not have made it, but if you're planning to and actually can submit a plan to make more, I've seen that get changed. So you've got to submit a revenue plan that shows them that, this year's not going to be like last year. And they're going to say, well, are you kidding? We're in a pandemic. And for us, I mean, for some businesses, it's actually helped, being in this lockdown space. And some businesses are having a heck of a time transitioning. So I would go back after it. I'd edit it. I've had a lot of people deny it the first time. And then, Eileen is the woman on our team who's just brilliant. And she will go back through your loan app and help you figure out what, box you checked wrong or how you might have stated something wrong. Always speak to new revenue and be serious about it. We're not asking you to lie about anything, but all of you, you need to get serious about making some new money.
So if I'm thinking about a new business, I know you help people do this. What kind of businesses do you think are available? Because the last time we talked, you talked about if you had some sort of money to invest with an owner or to tie your assets and invest in somebody who's maybe has a business that is not doing as well, but they have the possibility, because you don't want to link with somebody who's not doing well. Right. You talk a little bit about that, about entrepreneurship, because a lot of people are saying, I'd like to be an entrepreneur. I don't know where to start. What do I do?
Yep.
How do I get going?
You work with me. So so we're going to start you from scratch, and I'm going to be very candid once we start kind of working together on what works and doesn't work. Like right now, direct sales companies are killing it because everybody's buying online. right? There's a ton of direct sales companies that are working simple stuff. I've got people who just opened up like a t-shirt and a like around, Corona socks and like a fun shirt. And he's doing a couple thousand a month, just opening up like a shirt and like paraffin, like just I don't know. I mean, he sells coffee cups and masks and all sorts of things. So you got to think, what are people doing right now? So there's two kind of sides of it. One is creating new income. And you said like some other simple ones is I flew here, to Georgia last night from the Reno Tahoe area and sat by a gentleman who's in the Air Force. And we were just talking, and he owns some rental properties, completely not set up right at all. And so we talked about how he could be set up. And then more importantly, what he and his wife could do to make some more money. And they both are, pretty good at tutoring. And I said, I can tell you the school systems are so disastrous right now. People are hiring tutors, especially if you've got to work at home. You can't work at home and be now a teacher to your kids and figure all that shit out. It's a lot to do. And so tutoring, supporting either teachers learning to teach online or teaching your kids, huge growing business. And I'm talking tutoring rates are between $40 and $80 an hour. I have somebody who has a PhD in chemistry, older gentleman. And I said, take that and go to the high school, go to the colleges where these kids aren't getting the chemistry labs. They're not getting the education that they need, and create a tutoring process. And he's charging $80 and he went to local colleges and he's getting it. So think about what people need now. And it may not be, I think this is the other thing too, Barbara, that a lot of people, this isn't the business of a lifetime. This is what I call transitional businesses. These are things that like right now people need. Right now, I mean, the other thing too, I have a woman that used to do a lot of makeup in Hollywood. So what she's doing is she's teaching people how to do makeup behind a Zoom camera, how to do hair, how to do color. She would be horrified that I'm in my Georgia sweatshirt today telling me I should be all dressed up. But I said, I know where I'm going to be. And you asked me to be on, and I said, I'm just going to make it happen right here. And I was just in the rain, so my hair's a mess. Like, whatever, I'm here. So I kind of got over that. She'd be horrified, though. My point is, she'd be like, Laurel, oh my gosh. But a lot of people don't know how to do that. I have one client who just targeted on law firms, and she helped the lawyers who are totally technically clueless how to set up, because they have to do court by Zoom now. So how do they dress, right? So literally she's got, guys running around flip-flops and boxer shorts and then a suit on top. But, how do they they've never had to put on makeup, or like at least, take a matte, finish to at least get, the shine off their face, like all sorts of stuff. So, and she's killing it because all she does is set the background and really from, chest up, how these lawyers should be looking and how they need to behave now that they're doing court and trials literally on Zoom. It is the most interesting thing. So I have another woman who just picked a niche, and she's helping real estate agents get more business and doing, virtual open houses. So there's a lot. You have to think, what is it now? You don't have to do it forever. Call it a transitional. I'm just going to make some money now. And then, so the income side. And then on the second part, as you spoke about, then get your money to work. And I can help you assess, whether, what you should be doing. Sometimes you just want to put your money, to work in a simple, format, which we can have a different conversation about that. But if there's businesses around your town, which you are, I love my number one homework in this time right now is drive through a couple core streets and notice how many strip malls are now half vacant. Notice some of your favorite little restaurants or coffee shops or hair salons or, specialty shops. They're having a hell of a time, right? Because here's what pisses me. Oh, sorry, I cuss a little, Barbara, but it just does piss me off. Is these awesome small entrepreneurial shops. I mean, they have more restrictions than, the big box, than Home Depot, Walmart. Like they don't have half of the restrictions that these little small shops do. And it's the small shops in a lot of ways that keep the economy, right? So a small shop that has 5 employees, and then the next shop that has 10 employees. Like I only have 10 employees now, or 10 people that are employees, but work for me. We work together on this team. Like each small business that employs 5 to 10 people matter in a community. It matters in the economy. And they have so many more restrictions than big box. If you go through those, I'm sorry, but Walmart does have nail salons and hair salons, whatever. Sorry if you ladies ever go there. But like they can't compete because their hours, they can open longer. They get different restrictions than the little small, shop that's, downtown. that's by a private entrepreneur. So, and I'm not a huge fan of fair. I'm a huge fan of, if you want it, go out and work for it and make it happen. But it's rougher for a small entrepreneur to stay alive today. And believe me, I am all about it, because that's what I've been teaching my whole career is how to be an entrepreneur. But a lot of employees, like this gentleman, he's in the Air Force. And so thank God he and his wife are both Air Force. And I said, yeah, but do other things to make more money, especially now when you have the skills to do it. So it's make it and then invest it. Right. Or if you don't know how to invest it, we'll keep talking. I can teach you how to do that, where to do it, but at least keep your money. The worst thing is to make it and pay off debt. Then you have nothing, right? Then it's just a cycle of make it, spend it, make it, spend it. And yes, the debt has to be paid off, but not today. That is not a thing to do today, is go get debt free. That is the biggest waste of your money.
Laurel, you mentioned this when we were on another show I had about after the pandemic, what's next? And you mentioned that about now's not the time to pay off your debt. If you make money, and I think a lot of people didn't quite understand what you were saying. Of course, you were, all over the world. But basically, I said that's one of the best ideas, because many people tend to say, if I get this money, I need to pay off my debt. And you said, no. I want people out there to hear that rationale. No, you do not. You're going to pay it down, but you don't pay it off, right?
Right. Okay. Because think about it, like if you are going to pay off all your debt, then you have no more money, like to do anything with it. But opportunity comes, or let's just say this damn thing doesn't stop until next March or April. You've got to have money to live. So you want to keep making it. And then if you can find, like I can help you all day find things that you can invest for 10%. So why wouldn't you put your money to work at 10% versus go pay off debt that's at 7 or 8%? Go put it to work. And then you're making the money, and then just minimize your debt. So in my Millionaire Maker book, in which, those of you who want to follow and continue learning this strategy, which is how every wealthy person lives. No one's paying off debt right now. That's the worst use of your money. The best use of your money is to put it to work. Make it, put it to work, make it, put it to work. Think about it. If you had 100,000 at, let's just go say 12% for easy math, that's $1,000 of passive income. So if you had 100 grand, why would you pay off? And even if it was say $50,000, then it's $500 a month. Why would you pay any of that towards debt when you can have that extra $500 a month coming in passively while you're still working? So our goal is to get you in what I've always called a wealth cycle. Make it, invest it, and then it comes back passively. So you have a cycle of cash. Like if you think about it, Barbara, how many people all they focus on is how much they owe other people? Versus I want you focusing on what you can create for you and your family. You'll get rid of the debt. Don't worry about it. We'll make sure you're responsible about how you get rid of it, but it's not today at all.
I have a question from Unique Harden. Unique was asking, would you recommend registering a business as an LLC or sole proprietor?
Never a sole proprietor. I number one, the minute you open your mouth and help people, you could be doing something litigious. So we are always fans. And again, I have a whole team who can help you decide. Like an LLC in a lot of states, but if you're in California, New York, if there's some states that actually being an S corp's a better business structure because of the way they get taxed is ridiculous. So again, we can have our team. Scott's our expert in that. Like Eileen's our loan filling out expert, and then Deb's our credit expert. So I have all these experts that I've surrounded myself with to help our viewers and our clients figure that out. The other reason you want to be incorporated is that then you get to legally do many, many more deductions. So you get protection, asset protection. Like I was working with a nutritionist recently. She's teaching intermittent fasting. And I said, yeah, but if somebody does that wrong and they don't know, say they have insulin issues and they actually hurt themselves, they could come back and blame you. So definitely put an LLC in her case, because she's in the right state to do an LLC. So Scott helped her get an LLC because she is giving health advice. I mean, somebody can come back and say, well, you told me to do that. And then I had, an insulin reaction or a seizure or a heart attack or whatever the heck might happen. Dealing with people, unfortunately, in this grand country of ours is very litigious. So an LLC and an entity helps protect liability and for advice. And then more importantly is you get all these deductions. Like you get a write off, like everything you do, Barbara, like you could write off wardrobe. You could write off so many things you probably, like, because you need to be in comfort. Like, oh, and yet jewelry. I mean, my gosh, that's part of your wardrobe. You got to have that. I mean,
Gotta have that.
got to. It's a tax deduction.
Yeah. One of the other questions is, this person, and I know you may have an idea for them because Loral, you have ideas right off the bat.
Yeah.
Her nail salon has closed permanently. Jennifer
Why?
wrote this question, and I have it up. It's about time to reinvent herself. I had an idea, as a nail salon that's closed, what about one that's on the run, one that's on the move where you go to people if you're, mask up? What ideas might you have for her that she could?
Well, first of all, I'd go to your local government and say, why the hell is she closed? Like, nowhere in the country. I mean, to me, that's just a civil violations, right? I have huge issues about some of these states and the ridiculous power they think they have over us as a free country. Huge issues. Right. To me, I look at the political, like we're in the midst of an election, is you're voting for the economy and freedom, or you're voting for social rights. And you know what? I think you can have both, but I tell you, I'm voting for freedom all day long. All right. I want the right to do what we do as business owners. I want the right to stay open. I think it's crazy that some of these cities think they can shut down world-class entrepreneurs. The looting that's going on, all of those people should be arrested. I have huge issues about the protection of an entrepreneur. So I just had to say that because it drives me crazy. So, it's interesting, and I've done this with a hair salon. It's a little tricky depending on your county and city. And again, you got to kind of sort through that mess. But doing mobile, like I've helped dog groomers go mobile in dog grooming, mobile car detailing, mobile hair, mobile nails. So literally you would go to their house. And then, or you go to another facility if you can, get an agreement with them. So like I know there's locally in our one community a church that's pretty open. It's just got big air spaces. It's got covers, but it's outdoor spaces. Where for a while, temporarily, the hair salon, they partnered with the church to use that outdoor space. So they were outdoors. They all wore their masks, but at least they could keep going. Right. And there's no reason the salon person couldn't do it either. The other thing, too, in the beauty aid space is get an online store. Go to Shopify, get an online store. You could do a lot of YouTube, like teaching people how to do their own nails, even though I'm not a fan of that stuff. You could teach people how to do stuff over the internet. But I'd fight like hell to stay open and find out why she can't get open.
She's in Washington and she worked from home, but we have a response that I'm showing that a young lady who reformed a van for nails on the go. And I want to thank all you out there, Maria, and those of you who have suggestions for people, because that's what Woman Talk is about, Loral.
Yep.
About sharing ideas, coming together, helping each other so that we grow. And that when we leave this show, when women are not on the show or stop listening or whatever, they have some actionable steps that they can take to make their lives better. So I just can't thank you for all of this amazing information that you've given. I mean, you've given so much. I mean, I am trying to keep notes, but I do know one thing: make money, and I am not paying off my credit card debt. Okay, nope. I'm making
not
money
today. So again, I want to give all your audience a 2-for-1 gift to come to my marketplace. And I don't care if you partner up here online. However you want to do it. If you want to just take the half price ticket, you can call our office. But it's askloral.com/women talk. And you can do 2-for-1 for $97.
Wait, askloral.com
/women talk. And by the way, we put you as an affiliate, so you get supported on that. Okay. And it's $97, and then you get 2 tickets. So give it to a friend. Brianna on our staff will call you, find out who your friend is. So everybody gets really prepared, and you go to calls, and we help you get ready to sell next weekend. Like next Thursday, you'll be selling something. I don't know what it is today. You might not know what it is today. The other side of it is if you are selling something and you want to double that income, then you show up. So we'll just take you to the next level. So I teach for you have 8 hours of me. Can you imagine 8 hours of me doing this intense? So I do 2 hours. Then you actually go into a marketplace and you work on your thing you're going to sell. Then I do 2 more hours and then you work, and then we all go to sleep. Then Friday we get up and we do 2 more hours, and then you marketplace. And then we bring our graduate base to help you. And so we just have a whole marketplace of people making money together every Friday afternoon. It's super fun. It's super fun.
All right, Laura, I put it up and I will put it in the crawl space so that people will have it.
Awesome.
I have it down and I posted it.
And you need to be there.
I know I need to be there, and I will try to be there. You know me.
And I have all sorts of money ideas.
Yep. I'm ready. Dr.
Okay.
Jiselle is my colleague. I should say we're partners in crime, but we're not. We're partners in helping people make money and make their lives better. Also, Alexandra, do you have any questions of her? Because she has just been fantastic. Dr. Jewel or Alexandra?
Yes, absolutely.
For the name of her books. What are
Pardon?
the name of her books?
So the main book is called The Millionaire Maker. When you go to askloral.com, I give you Put More Cash in Your Pocket. It's free. It's a free download of the book. And then I have an investing book called Wealth Cycle Investing, and The Millionaire Maker's Cash Machine, which is how to build a 7-figure business. And then the biggest, another big one was called Yes Energy. Just say yes and figure it out.
Okay, Laura, we're gonna have to have you come back too. I know.
I'd love to come back.
And Dr. Jewel, did you have another question, or Alexandra?
Yeah, I had a question. So 62% of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck, and they're not really growing any type of median wealth, what you own versus what you owe. So what would your advice be to some millennials out there and really hit hard by the Great Recession when they graduated, and now they're hit really hard in the pandemic?
Learn to be a better entrepreneur. And I know that sounds like it's not simple. Like I'm here at Georgia Southern, and it's not just Georgia Southern. My son was in Jacksonville before this, but schools are designed to teach you to become an employee. And so when you get ingrained in that mindset, like I'll never forget Logan's first class, my son, when he texted me from, his first university class, he's like, Mom, like they're teaching me to be an employee in accounting, an employee in finance. He said, I've not heard one thing. Now listen to this. He's a junior this year, 3rd year. He has not heard one thing that I teach in any business class. So even though I'm sure the millennials did great, and I went to school, so I'm not saying don't go to school. I think it's a great, umbilical cord detachment from the family, and they go start learning to be independent. I think it's a safe place for learning independence, and they're going to learn some shit, right? But as far as learning to be an entrepreneur, they aren't learning it there. So again, we love anybody under 20. They come to any of my work for free. So if any of you have kids or teenagers that are struggling, like I just went and had lunch with my son and some of his football players in business school because they're not learning this stuff. I brought them all books. We had a little lunch and learn with the football team before tonight's game. Like I don't stop. I think so many people think like I just do this. I'm always on. It's like finally I told Logan, he's like, oh, I was never going to let anybody know who you were. You kind of quietly lives here. And I said, Logan, you have to. I can help these kids. So I did. I just, to your point, had a bunch of millennials at lunch because they're not learning this. I don't care what degree they get. They're not learning how to market, how to sell, how to generate a price for their skill set. And so learning to be a better entrepreneur. I mean, if anybody under 20, they can have this ticket for free. So if you go get a ticket, then you should share it with an adult and then bring 2 more kids for free under 20. Because we've got to train them, and there's just not good training on how to do entrepreneurialism. And they're all smart, but they're frustrated.
One of the things, Laurel, I have to make this comment too, is that financial literacy is not taught in high schools. It's not taught in colleges. So a lot of the millennials have been, as you explained, have not been exposed to how to become an entrepreneur, but more or less about financial literacy. How to manage your debt, how to manage a budget. We had a session last week, starting with the basics, to talk about a budget. How do you establish a budget? Simple things like I learned, simple things like keeping the receipts of everything I spend during the week, and then doing a spreadsheet. How much did I spend for the week? Where can I cut back? I mean, I spent a lot of money in Staples and World Foods and Trader Joe's now because you're looking for healthier choices, but it's expensive. But when you start looking at a budget in a realistic way, a lot of people have never been taught that. How much do I bring home? How much do I expend? What's left over? What can I cut out? Do I need to have Amazon? Do I need to have Netflix? Do I need to have all of these social media sites? There were just little basic things that we talked about. So today, I appreciate you coming and bringing us to another level about becoming entrepreneurs, how to become investors. Jewel and Alexandra, this is interesting because I picked up a book and started reading about finances, Rich Dad, that Sharon Lichter had co-written with. And one of the things they talk about the difference between millionaires and people who are not is that millionaires make money, but they invest.
Yeah.
People who do not have liabilities.
Yep.
So your statement today is make that money and invest that money. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And for those of you who want to take advantage of what Loral has to offer, I will post it again for people to get that message, Loral, to attend your seminars and get more information from you. I really, really thank you. Any other questions that you guys might have? Any last minute comments, Loral?
I wanted to explain more about this concept of speak.
Sorry, I can't hear. What's it?
I wanted to hear more about that concept, speak to new money.
I can't hear it. Sorry, what's on my sound?
Speak
what?
To money. Speak to new money. Can you hear?
Speak to new money?
Yes. You said that.
So new money meaning new money you make?
No, when you were saying you should elevate your conversation with the banks and applying for loans, you should speak to new money. In other words,
for some reason I can't hear. My sound's getting screwed up on my little phone. Say it one more time. I'm just going to listen.
When you were talking about negotiating with the bank, I think on credit card, was that what you were talking about? And you said speak to new money. Is that what you caught, Jewel?
No, she said we should be more aggressive when we're applying for loans, and you should elevate.
Oh, when you're applying for your loan?
And you should speak to new money. You should elevate and be more aggressive. Can you give us some examples of that?
So when you come to my workshop, so I have some forms you're going to fill out that show revenue and your costs. And I love, Dr. Barbara, that you talked about just how to spend money. I don't think people know how to spend money right. And I call it forecasting because budgeting sounds restrictive, so I don't like that word. So I just give it a new word. It's called forecasting. So you really want to show, like, these are the amount of sales you have per month. So for example, if you were going to sell, like, I'll give you a quick $10,000 revenue model a month. If you have something to sell for $25, I don't care what the thing is. I'm just going to talk about money. So if you had something to sell for $25 and the revenue model I give you during the workshop, I'll give it to you really quick, is how to make $10,500 a month. So you sell 40 items. So 40 is 10 a week. That's 5, right? Because there's 4 weeks in a month. So 40 divided by 4 is 10, divided by 5 is 2. So if you sold 2 $25 items a day for an entire month, you'd make $1,000 selling that item. Then of those 40 sales, you're going to call back those people and say, do you want to buy my $250 thing? And then you want 10 people to buy that. So you have 40 people buying something for 25. That's 2 people a day. And then you have not even 2 people a week, 3 people a week that need to buy a $250 item. And then of those, you want 3 people to buy a $1,000 item and only 1 to buy 4,000. So I can get people to making $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 a month very quickly. People, again, just aren't trained on how to look for it. And it's a very systematic approach to revenue. So when you can present that to a credit card company and say, this is what I'm selling, these are my prices, this is what I'm on track to make, very different than I've ever done, but I have to have capital, which means I need room on my credit card to move, and I need a reduced interest rate. Does that help? So you're speaking clearly, telling them basically your revenue model and how you're going to make the money, so they're more apt to give it to you. So it's speaking with a different level of, I'm going to say, financial literacy and confidence to them. So again, one of the things I want to just go back, the book that's probably the most beginning book, but really important. If you just go to askloral.com, I give you my Put More Cash in Your Pocketbook for free. And I'd say for anybody, start and thoroughly read it, because there's a lot in there on how to be the startup entrepreneur, like you had said, Alexandra, to the millennial. Like, how do they put more cash in their pocket? And how do they use the money then for better purposes than paying off, old debt?
Great.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
So I need to run, ladies.
Yes, Laura.
Very fun little evening with my football, little team over here.
Can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
You got to have to
Thank
come
you so
back.
much.
We're going to be going to AskLaurel.com. Don't forget, I've got you down, girl.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And I'll be in that seminar. I'll tell you coming up. Let me tell you. Lots more.
All right. Thanks, ladies.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to working with you again. Cheers.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Well, ladies, that was quite a session. Amen.
Amen.
A master class.
Yes.
A master class with a woman, like I told you, the money expert. She has a lot to share, and I do hope that people will take advantage of the offer that she gives because she makes it so plain and so simple. So are there any questions out there that you have or you want to share what you really got as a takeaway, Alexandra?
Well, what I took from it was that, increasing your median wealth, really gaining assets and, putting into practice that you don't really have to, especially right now, you don't really have to take too much emphasis into paying off debt right now because we need to survive. Right now is about survival and getting as much cash flow as possible. So really thinking about ways to, make masks right now. A lot of people are doing that, selling stuff on Etsy, just like little small ways to make business moves and money making decisions right now is just so important and pivotal. And so I really liked what she said about that, just making that clear that we can start making money now and not really focusing so much on our debt in this point in time.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad. Jewel had to leave the set for a minute. There she's
Yes,
back.
I'm back. I
All
noticed
right, Jewel.
I needed to recharge.
Okay,
So
we're glad you recharged.
yes.
And I really want to thank all of you, Joy, to talk about, and Jennifer Gerald, and all of you, Latrice Jefferson, all of you, Robert Kelly. You agreed we need a mandate to teach financial literacy, and I think it should be a nationwide mandate.
Yes.
And then I really want to have Laurel back to talk more about developing your own business online, some of the ideas she may have. Jennifer Gerald, I appreciate you and your comments. I'm just trying to acknowledge every one of you that wrote in. Uniqua, Harden, Francis Chavez. I didn't have a chance to put all of your questions up, but many of you responded. Jewel, any questions you have or any comments about the presentation this morning?
Well, I'm taking a deep breath because everything that she was saying just resonated with me. I come from a father who was an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, but yet there's a lot of gaps in my knowledge when it comes to the financial piece. I think a lot of us get excited about our business, but it's not sustainable because we don't have this higher knowledge of how to protect our finances. And I appreciate what she said about, this time, this pandemic is a unique time for people to tap into a niche and find out what people need. I mean, people are ordering from Amazon every day, like she said. People are staying home and they're ordering. So we need to put on our thinking caps and figure out what is it that our customers need and how can we fulfill it.
Right.
So it's really jogging my mind and making me rethink and repivot and reinvent, because if we don't do that, we're going to be lost. We're going to lose out on new money. And I love the idea of focusing on new money, but you have to do something new to get the new money.
Right. I really appreciate your comments. One of the things that I liked, and let me get you all back on screen, was the fact that you have to be very proactive nowadays.
Right.
You have to speak up to the banks. You have to speak up for what you want. And I like the idea of having a plan and telling the bank what you need, because they need us more than we need them right now. And then to talk about how to increase your credit card or to even get out of debt with a credit card. I really appreciated her sharing that. And this is why I wanted Laurel on, because she is the big butt. She's going to tell you exactly what to do and how to do it.
And Dr. Barbara, can I say this?
Yeah.
Can I just keep it real? I've been hearing about a lot of people that have been getting these loans. They're misappropriating the money.
Yes.
And so to have someone like Loral who's going to guide you to protect it and not find yourself behind bars.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of people that have the mindset. They know what to say, they know what to ask for, they know what boxes to check. And I'm like, how much did that person get? And they're not using it for the valid reason. So we want to connect with people that are going to keep us out of jail and not get so impulsive and greedy that we're not thinking properly, because what happens is the bad apples make it bad for those that have legitimate reasons to apply for loans and to employ the community. So it just amazes me how there are so many people that have that mindset. Boy, they know what to say, they know how to ask, they're aggressive, they know what boxes to check, but it's criminal.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so talk to someone like a Loral that's going to keep you in the safety zone.
Yes.
And legitimate is very important.
I like what she said, where she was talking about how you can just call your credit card company and ask for a lower interest rate. You know, some people really needed to hear that, because some people don't know that you can just call up your company and just ask.
Right. Right.
That was really good information.
And the fact that she has a team that's going to help you with your credit, that's going to help you with the application, that's going to help you with so many different facets, because it's multi-layered being an entrepreneur. How do you market your product? How do you get it on social media? How do you price it? What about inventory? What about packaging? There's so many levels to be an entrepreneur. And so it really jogged my mind to say, Jewel, you got to go back to the drawing table and you're going to do some rethinking, because I really believe this pandemic is going to be with us more than we'd like to accept. So it's no need for us to be in fantasy. We need to be realistic and get busy.
To all my listeners, my viewers out there, this is the time to get real. We are not going back to where it was before.
Nope.
We're not going back to what the past. We're carving out new territory. One of the things that resonated with me are people who were saying, I'm unemployed, I don't know where. Direct sales is absolutely booming. Direct sales companies are booming. And when she said that, because people are buying online, Amazon is actually hiring so many people because they're trying to keep up with all the orders that are coming in and getting them out to people. So I really liked the things. I was taking as many notes as I could because she was talking fast, but looking at the transitional businesses, what, I get a lot of ideas, because I was telling Alexandra when we were talking about relationships, which we're going to talk about next week.
Yes.
But I was thinking, my idea, so if anybody runs with it, that's okay, I don't care, was why doesn't somebody write a guidebook on relationship dating, on online dating?
Well, Dr. Barbara, when you said that, I thought in terms of, we also have a relationship with money. What is our relationship with money?
I think
do we
that,
live in fear? Do we
I
live in
think
lack?
that is going to be an important talk.
Yeah.
And because we have a relationship with money built on past experiences.
Exactly.
Parents telling you, girl, money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think? We got a tree. You hear your parents saying that. We didn't establish a good relationship with money, and because that's historically what we heard. I didn't hear about saving.
Right.
You're going to save your money. You're going to spend this much. You're going to say, no. It was like, no, we can't afford it. You think money grows on trees? I never heard about that in my growing up. So what is your relationship about money? That would be a good poll for our people to take.
And when you talk about dating, are you just lusting, or are you really looking at a person's behavior with money, their attitude about money? Because that's going to come into play. So there's so many things, so many different areas we can go into when it comes to talking about relationships. It's more than just about the sex. It's about, you know, compatibility spiritually, emotionally, financially, mentally. And I think a lot of people are not checking the boxes because they're either lonely. I mean, I know we're gonna get into it next week.
We are.
It's like, wow, when you talk about relationships, I can't wait for next week because I know we can explore mother-daughter, we can explore parent and child, we can explore husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, co-worker. So I just excited that our listeners are going to be with us again next week as we explore this awesome topic.
Yes.
Well,
and yeah, and I really like how Dr. Barbara was talking about how, you know, the relationship with yourself is so important in relationships. Being secure with oneself, having self-esteem, and knowing yourself. That's something that we can explore too in talking about relationships, because, you know, so many times we get into relationships and we're so needy and we don't really know what we want, and we end up getting the wrong thing, attracting the wrong thing continually. And so that's something we can talk about and explore.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to explore that next week, ladies. So we want you to call your friends, tell them to tune in live on Facebook Live. We have two, and I have instructions if you want to know how to access you. And we have a new, well, it's not exactly new, but we have a chat at womantalklive.net. Chat at womantalklive.net. And I'm going to post it. I hope everybody can see this comment. Chat at womantalklive.net.
That's where they can send their questions.
That's where you can send your questions. I am so excited because I'm going to show it right now. Chat at womantalklive.net, because we want you to respond to us. And if there's something you want to talk about, a little secret, we'll keep it secret. We won't call your name, but we want to talk, and we're going to get heavy into relationships. We might be in relationships through November.
Yeah, I think that's good because the holidays, you know, people get lonely.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
As it gets colder, people want to get into more relationships. They want to cuddle up. They want to snuggle up. So,
and so I really want you guys to tune in to Loral. I'm going to go back and see where I gave, this is Ask Loral, AskLoral.com/woman talk, AskLoral.com/woman talk. And I put it's women talk. It's not woman for her, it's women. So for those of you who'd like to get more information, sign up for that course, which she's giving free. And Alexandra, I would encourage you to take it because it'd be good to pass that on to some of the millennials, because we need new tools, and we need to look at money from a different perspective and find a need and fill it. I remember her saying that very clearly in a previous show I had with her. Find a need and fill it. So there are many things that we can do out there, and I really want to thank my guest, Laura. She is just, wasn't she great?
She was awesome.
That was amazing.
And I think
that was amazing how much tutors are getting paid, $40 to $80 an hour. And there is a high demand for them. So yeah, audience, if you have a specialty in math, science, English, you can make a side hustle because there's a great need. These parents are under a lot of stress. And I love the fact that she was giving us examples of how we can pivot and create another stream of income based on the atmosphere and the climate that we are in. Parents need help. Teachers need help. And we don't want our students losing ground.
We talk about some of the healthcare workers too. So some of the people who have degrees and who've gone to college have debt. There's a way to transition some of your skills. And Laurel talked about that today, where you can transition to other occupations where you can still make money. And remember, don't pay down your debt. Don't pay off your debt. I think there's always that compulsion. If you get a big sum of money, you want to pay off the debt, but you pay it down, but don't pay off the debt. Ladies, I want to just remind you this as we get ready to close the show. And I know my co-hosts agree with me. It's time to get out and vote. So I want to remind you,
Yes,
ladies.
yes.
We have the power to move mountains and make a national impact only if we come together and vote. So
I
get
want to say something
vote.
too. You know, millennials right now, if you're watching, you guys, we make up 83.1 million part of the US population. So we're one of the largest generations so far, and we can really make an impact on social issues, economic issues. So I just think it's very important right now for us to get out and vote and show our voice, show up in the polls.
It's a
So
right, the
I like
rites of
show up and
passage.
show out.
I've
Show up
already
and show
cast
out.
my vote. I've already cast my vote. We want to remind our audience that you can track your vote, get that confirmation that your vote was received. I want to say congratulations to the first time voters. Yes, it's your right of passage. Do not procrastinate. Get out there and vote and make an impact. We need some new administration. We need some new energy. We need some decency, intelligence, and wisdom and experience.
Thank you much. You guys, this has been a delight on the show today. Also, as we're closing out the month of October, don't forget, this is Breast Awareness Month. So all you ladies out there, make sure you're taking care of the things you know you need to take care of. Okay?
Yeah, getting those
I
mammograms.
love how it is that we can be real on the show and we can just talk woman to woman. So that's what this is about, Woman Talk. This is the place to be on Thursdays, Woman Talk. So what's our tagline, Jewel? What's our tagline? You know what it is.
Women, let's keep talking because the conversation is always better right here.
Yay! Yeah. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. We have just a few more minutes. And Alexandra, we want to thank you for being our co-host today.
Thank you.
And you're able to talk and listen. I think was one of the most spectacular shows today. Now, remember, we have a lot more guests that are going to come in and going to share. We're going to have somebody on relationships. Now, I also want to share this too, ladies. Don't be a little dismayed if we have a male speaker come on and talk about relationships during the time, because men give us some really good feedback. Okay, so we want to be open and we want to be responsive. So
and
what
I give a shout out to 411 Cafe. Joy is online with us today. She's a great support of Woman Talk. The 411 Cafe, it is a social network. She is empowering and helping entrepreneurs all across the nation and always promoting their events. She's promoting Woman Talk, promoting Women on the Grow, promoting entrepreneurs. So, hey, Joy, thanks for checking in today.
Yes, and let me say hello to Robert Kelly and Uniqua and everybody that showed up. So it was just so great having you and hearing your questions and being part of the conversation.
Yeah. And thank Robert for showing up today, being the only male. And he had a comment, so thank you. And I showed your comment, Robert. And Joy, thank you so much. And we appreciate your remarks about how we're doing. And remember, we want to know what you'd like to hear. And you know what? You can also tell us what we're not doing. You know, we can take criticism too.
Yeah.
We can take criticism too. And so I just want to thank all of you for tuning in with us today. It's been a wonderful experience with all of you, really has. I am so excited.
Yes.
This time next week, we will know the results.
This time next week, it's going to be, woo!
Yeah. Let's pray. Let's
pray. I think I have a comment. Oh, Robert Kelly said thank you all. So Robert, he was back on to say thank you all. Okay, we're going to get out of here, ladies. I hate to leave, but it is time for us to leave. So say goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Wait.